Welcome to the first edition of Face My Abuse. I am sitting here with Dana Burnett. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jackie.
You're welcome. Dana, could you tell my audience a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Dana Burnett. I was born and raised here in Brooklyn. I'm a single mother of three. I'm a member of the VOW organization because I am a domestic violence survivor and an advocate. I've been a survivor for 6 years, and I'm a member of the Brown Memorial Baptist Church in Brooklyn.
Great. Wow. Could you give us a little indication of the first time that you were actually, well, let's say the first signs that you actually could remember about your abuser?
Well, the first sign that I can remember about my abuser is jealousy. Just jealousy. Jealous of any man that I talked to, any friend, anybody who even remotely looked at me, he was jealous and thought that I was sleeping with the person. So, jealousy is the first sign.
Okay. And could you give us a brief, story of one that plays a role in your mind that stands out vividly so we can get the audience to understand the severeness of domestic violence abuse?
Well, there was an incident where one day I was riding in my car, and apparently he had gotten mad at me not being able to take his gas money. I refused to take his gas money because he had a problem with me asking him for the money for gas. Meanwhile, he's riding my car. I'm taking him back and forth to work, and I decided that I don't want to get the gas money from him. So he kicks my windshield in, and at the time I was pregnant. I was about 6 months pregnant by him, and I was so nervous. My hand was shaking, and I'm in the car. I'm right on East New York Avenue, right there where Rochester intersection is, and he just got so mad because I wouldn't take the gas money. He just kicked my windshield, and all the glass came in. And I'm looking at him like, this man is crazy. I cannot believe him. And I'm pregnant, and I'm trembling, and I'm shaking. And then he touched my hand, and he saw how nervous I was, and he realized that he was scaring me. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I can't believe this man is so crazy like this. So that was like, that sticks out in my mind, just the whole thing of him kicking in the windshield.
Okay. Um, a situation with your kids. You told me you encountered a devastating moment. Could you elaborate a little bit on that one just so they can understand the severity of what the in-depths of how an abuser can actually turn on you and also the children's, and that is actually by him, right?
Yes. Well, I have two beautiful children by him, Tony and Tonisha. And we had a situation where I was taking my kids to tutoring at Kaplan, but because he didn't want me to take them, he had a problem with that. And I'm like, why wouldn't you want, your children to go, for tutoring? It's, an educational thing. It's something that they will need later on in life. And he got mad, and when I came back from the tutoring with the kids, he was there waiting, he was huffing and puffing, and as soon as I walked through that door, he hit me. He grabbed my daughter, told her to sit down and eat, and she didn't want to eat, and he beat her and, hit her in her back, but she was bleeding. My son came to, like, sort of defend us, and he knocked my son near the window, and it was just so emotional that time. It was just such a fearful moment that I felt like I couldn't protect my children. My children looked at me for help, and I couldn't help them, and it was just so devastating. And he really tried to hurt us that day. He really pulled out a knife, and I was running around the house with the chair trying to protect myself so that he wouldn't stab me, and all because of tutoring. And it has had an effect on my children because now my youngest son is abusive now, and by him witnessing the abuse, he's being violent towards young girls. He thinking that putting his hands on girls is the right way to go and to show control. And this is what I was trying to tell their father, which he's now locked up for 27 years. He's gotten a lot of time for the abuse that he's put me through. But I was trying to explain to him that, when kids witness this type of abuse, it, it plays some kind of mental picture in their mind where they feel that they need to replicate it later on in life.
Wow. Did sex play a part in your, relationship? You know what I mean? As far as, because I need people to understand that sometimes abusers are so in love with their spouses that they feel the necessity that you're going out and you're going to give away what he's getting to someone else. So, could you elaborate a little bit on the sex?
Well, I think that sex played a part. Him being in prison for over 10 years, coming home with this, this fever, to just want to release and have sex and make love and claim ownership on his woman. I'm like, okay, yeah, the sex was good. He was the only man that made my toes curl, I have to admit. But he was abusive, and all the toes curling in the world doesn't amount to the abuse. It doesn't accept, it doesn't make it okay for the abuse to happen. And he was jealous, and he, like I said before, as one of the signs, he would think that by someone else looking at me that some other man wanted me, or if I smile at somebody, because I'm always smiling, very known for my smile, and if another man smiles at me, he thinks that I'm going to give it away or whatever. And yes, he was abusive because he just could not fathom me being with another man, or another man looking at me. He would just accuse me of being promiscuous with someone else. So sex does play a big role.
And do you have any scars that you could remember, any scars that you wear now from your abuse?
Well, I have internal scars. The heart, it would never go away. I play the abuse over and over in my mind. Although I have gotten over it, I consider myself a survivor, but the memories are there. The moments when I look at my children, and to just see that we all went through this, it plays a role in my mind, and those scars will never go away.
Wow. And so, what are you doing now? Could you share with them now, what are you doing to actually educate other women that actually went through the adversity of their abusers?
Well, right now I'm writing. I'm a playwright and I'm an author. I wrote the play called Broken Battlefield, which is a play about domestic violence in the body of Christ. I wrote the play at the time when Juanita Bynum and Bishop Weeks was going through their domestic violence in Atlanta. Everybody knows about that fateful day in the parking lot in Atlanta. And it was at that time God revealed to me that you need to tell your story. This is something you need to show, that you're in the church and you're active, you're on the choir, you're ushering, and you're doing ministry, you're leading the women in your church and the Women's Day Committee. And you need to show people that you're leading and bleeding. And that's what I did. I was able to write this beautiful play with the help of the Lord, and show women that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what socio-economic background you come from, it doesn't matter what profession you have, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, it doesn't matter what size you are, abuse does happen to women. And if you're in church and you're leading, you're living a lie and you're wearing a mask because you want people to think you're holier than thou, and that, oh no, this can't happen to me. But yes, it does happen to Christians, it happens to deaconesses, it happens to lawyers, it happens to community advocates, community organizers. It happens to all women in all walks of life.
Wow. Dana, what would you like to say to the women out there that are in a domestic violence situation that will eventually see this tape? You know what I mean? What strong message can you deliver to them to give them that rude awakening that they so deservedly need right now?
Well, I would tell them that if they notice any signs, leave. Don't wait, because this may be your last chance that you get. Call 911. Alert your friends that that your boyfriend or your husband is an abuser, so that if they hear something going on in the house, because that was one of the problems that I had. My neighbors never said anything. They were quiet, and I was like, I know they heard him beating my head, and I know they heard him stomping me. I'm screaming and yelling, and the kids are crying, and I'm like, why didn't they help? Why didn't they call? At least anonymously call. But if you don't have a chance to call, you get out the first chance you get, because it may be your last.
Wow, thank you so much, Dana, for your wonderful story and all your trials and tribulations to share this with other women that are out there. And thank you for being our first interview for Facing My Abuse.
Thank you. You're welcome.